Hello everyone, I am the host of the YouTube channel WANG YIBO ENGSUB. Nice to meet you again. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the hottest news of the day. And here's today's news. WANG YIBO, the Wind Rises Luoyang finale, Wu Siyue regrets, Baili Hongyi feels too suffocated. Wind from Luoyang is over, and the ending is a little flat. There is no big scene of crackling, and no big fish happily. It just narrates at the ending of everyone peacefully. It feels a little bit uncomfortable. But this ending can't be thought about carefully. It's like cutting meat with a blunt knife, and the more you think about it, the more painful it becomes. Regretful Wu Siyue Ayue's loyal patron saint, but just fell in love. My brother was about to rebel, and then she was gone. But even if she didn't die under the arrow, only these things her brother did. In the second half of his life, he would also be imprisoned or even decapitated. Dying in the best years, with a lover at the side, can only say regret. Baili Hongyi really hurts too much. After Grandpa Bailiyan died, Baili Hongyi found out that Grandpa had never deceived him. It turned out that every sentence was true. But at that time he only knew that he was playing a live donkey with Grandpa. Later, Baili Hongyi understood a lot of things. But Grandpa was no longer there. Then he misunderstood his eldest brother Kuanren. After Han Jiacang was bombed, Baili Kuanren packed himself up, put on the usual clothes of Baili's son, dressed up very much like Baili Hongyi. He returned to Baili's house with great vigor. Baili Kuanren went directly to Hongyi's bedroom and spoke to Hongyi like a kid. But he was the ambassador of Chunqiu Dao, and Shen Fei just died in their hands. Grandpa Bailiyan was also killed by Chunqiu Dao. Baili Hongyi is full of guard against this big brother. Every word is frustrating him. Kuanren said to his brother who was sitting on the ground, Erlang, didn't you even say a greeting when you saw your brother? Kuanren said, people of Shinto call me the ambassador of Zhangchun, but you should call me brother Kuanren. Kuanren said, you are my little brother. Kuanren said, are you angry with me? Erlang, you really don't recognize your brother. Baili Hongyi asked, why do you want to kill Grandpa? Why don't you kill me too? At this time, Kuanren stretched out his hand to touch his brother's head. When I was watching the show, I thought this ambassador had any plans. Later I found out that he really just came back to see his brother, because his death is the next step. Baili Kuanren's love for his younger brother was more obvious when Baili Hongyi went to visit the prison. Hongyi went to visit him in jail, and the first sentence of Tony said, you shouldn't have come. It's not that Kuanren doesn't want to see Hongyi, but that he is even more worried about his involvement. When I went home, I just wanted to see this young brother again before he died. Kuanren smiled and recalled the scene of the two reading together, but Hongyi was very afraid of the spring and autumn road. Kuanren's young Chunqiu killed his father, but when they went to kill Hongyi, they secretly took action. That was also the first time that Kuanren showed his feet in the spring and autumn road in many years. Many people think that he is an undercover agent, but in fact he is just an older brother. Maybe it is forgetting and not broad-minded, because of his physical defects and not being able to enter the DPRK as an official. But he has never been jealous of this younger brother loved by his grandfather and father. But at that time, Hongyi was frightened by Chunqiu Dao and played a live donkey against his brother again. Even if Kuanren is sorry to the world, he really loves Hongyi. From Baili Hongyi's perspective, he was so painful. At the end of the play, Baili Hongyi's life became more and more depressing. Stay in the room all day long, Ginyong said about the uncle, and he felt uncomfortable. At this time, Hongyi should understand that the eldest brother came back to see him. Therefore, it is understandable to resign and leave God. In Shinto, he lost all his loved ones who loved him deeply. And I realized it again and again. Baili Hongyi said that he would not come back again. However, Gao Bingju, who had lost his lover, said, he will continue to guard the capital for Yue and continue to search for Aidan. Hongyi thinks about it, maybe it'll be back after some time. Maybe he didn't want Gao Bingju to be too lonely. Wu Siyue and Baili Hongyi are both miserable. Let me talk about one more interesting detail. Baili Kuanren gave the manuscript of his grandfather Baili Hu to Zhangchun and asked him to develop Thuo lighting. When the prince heard that there was a Taoist doing alchemy, he thought it was for food, so he went to ask for a fairy prescription. After returning home, he almost burned the East Palace, and was dragged by the saint to reprimand. The explosion of the house just shows that the prince's refining direction is right. In fact, the prince was the first person to make the fire and thunder. Baili Hongyi put the stove in the yard when making it, still by the pond. He is worthy of being a member of the Baili family, and part of the method is engraved in his genes. Baili Hongyi and Lu Ginyong made fireworks, and the direction was right. There are only Tiantong people who have done nothing for many years of research. In the end, Baili Hongyi accidentally helped him make it. This old way is nothing.
Japan, I'll see you.